Hello there guys, and welcome back to once again another live stream here on the Divine Eye Racing YouTube channel. We have got another race here in Division 2, as it is going to be Season 3, Round 9, around the Qatar. I think it's called the Losail International Circuit, as of course it is in Losail in Qatar. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing race. Qatar, one of the most beautiful racing circuits in my opinion. And we definitely have a great battle for the Drivers' Championship. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Ziad is winning that by a little bit. But the race, well, there's still a couple of races to come, as I think there's 12 races, if I'm not mistaken. We're currently in Round 9, so still 3 more races to come after this one, which I will probably be doing the last race off. Because next week I'm leaving to the United States, so I won't be able to commentate for 2 more races, and then the last one I will be there. Now, we are all witnessing a probably great qualifying here around Qatar. A very difficult track, not too many overtaking opportunities, and a 5-place grid penalty for DJ Lawson already with a collision with Mohammed, as Mohammed is currently on an outlap. So I'm not sure why Mr. DJ Lawson would get a penalty for that, because obviously Mohammed didn't really gain or lose any time with that. But all jokes aside, you know, it's a very good track. Not many overtaking opportunities, which make the where in the US are you headed? I'm going to New Orleans, and afterwards I'm taking the car and going to Destin to go to a beach resort. No, but I'm staying from the Saturday till Wednesday in New Orleans, and then afterwards I'm headed to Destin for, well, from Wednesday till the Saturday after. So not that Saturday, but the Saturday after. And then I'm leaving again by plane, unfortunately. Kaka coming across the line with a 122.5. As we're currently on board with Super Sean, but let me talk about the track one more time. So not many overtaking opportunities, but that is what makes this track beautiful. Because everyone is within each other's DRS, everyone is within the dirty air, everyone has a slipstream, everyone has about the same amount of ERS, except for when you're making an overtake. But definitely when you're trying to charge the battery, you just have to stick within that DRS train, and hopefully nobody is going to make an overtake on you. Now here down the straight, it's the only DRS opportunity for the guys to make an overtake, so hopefully they are gonna be using that DRS to their advantage. But obviously here around Qatar, many DRS not DRS trades, but like DRS trains, and that is gonna be a difficult one to make an overtake in. Thriss just has joined. He's gonna be in another car, as if I'm not mistaken he drives for Red Bull, but I just gotta sharpen up my brain there. Servaliers in the chat says, nice man, lovely food in New Orleans. Make sure you got yourself some jambalaya and crawfish bowl. Yeah, the problem is I don't really like that much food, so the only thing I'm eating is hamburgers, pizzas, fries, all those stuff. It's not like I'm trying any fancy food, neither in Belgium here though. But overall, I wanted to try crocodile, because I think it's something, you know, going to other people and say, oh yeah, I tried crocodile, you know, everyone would be out of their minds. No, but I'm also gonna try, because I don't like fish at all, so I don't think I'm gonna try that crawfish. But what is that jambalaya thing? I also heard there are some good. Have you guys ever seen the movie Princess and the Frog? Tiana, she makes something. It looks like beignets or something like that. I think it's a beignet. I really want to try that. It looks very delicious in the movie, so I really want to see what it has to offer really in New Orleans. But I heard it was very dangerous in New Orleans. It's one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. And also, I'm very scared of like storms and all of that stuff. So I'm really hoping there is not going to be any what is a tycoon? Is that what it's called in? No, it's probably not a tycoon. What is it in the United States? Well, in English that they call it. Here in Belgium we call it an orkaan. But it's like those crazy thing you hear about in the news and all that kind of stuff. But maybe we should focus on the race here instead of talking about my vacation plans. I'm making you guys all thirsty to go to the United States as well. If you ever plan to do so, I really recommend it. It's a lovely country, in my opinion, to visit. I had a very big dream of going to the United States and live there. Now, a couple of people changed my mind. One being the amount of shooting that's going on there, especially putting your kids in school there. It's never a safety. The server leaves in the chat. It's a rice dish, almost like jolo, and if you've ever had that, I've never had that. And yeah, New Orleans can be quite dangerous. I feel like it cannot, well, it can be dangerous in the city center, but I feel like it's more of in the hoods, right around, right outside New Orleans. So that's not where we are going. So hopefully we're gonna stay safe in the city center. We don't have that many things planned because we're only there for about 3 or 4 days. So it should be all good. Here comes Waza across the line, puts himself in P6 with a 123.5. And we might want to go on board with Olawa Richie, as he's one of the main contenders to take the Drivers' Championship. So I'm just going to double check with the Drivers' standings as well. Let me double check. Last week we had Silverstone, of course. Ziad is currently leading the Drivers' Championship with 177 points. Olawa Richie followed closely behind with 170 points, only 7 points of a difference. As I think the winner takes about 30 points, so Olawa Richie can definitely close that gap here today around Qatar. As Olawa Richie, I think he got P2 or P3 last week. Might have been Kev the Slice who won the race last week, as he got 37 points in total. Super Sean is also doing pretty decent with 111 points. And then at the middle of the field, we're having a very heated battle between King Papa, Redoubts, Expedito, and also Brass Monkeys with about 68 points in P12. So we're definitely going to be looking great here during that Drivers' Championship. I'm just going to double check with the Constructors' Championship as well, as we've got Mercedes currently leading that championship with 288 points. Olawa Richie just came across the line, and he's going to be putting a 122.2, so definitely a very difficult time for the guys to beat, but we might want to go on board with Ziad later, if Ziad is here. Wait, Ziad is not here. No, he is. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? Ziad is on another level. He should be going to Division 1, because this is not fun anymore for the guys on track. A 121.4, that's about 8 tenths faster than Olawa Richie. Now, I'm pretty sure Olawa Richie can still improve in his time. Yo, BE Ghosted. How are you doing, dude? I was always talking about the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari is not too far behind with about 28 points of a difference. They've only had one race win, one second place, and that's about it for the Ferrari team. Mercedes has had it different with 4 wins, 3 second places, 2 third places, and 2 fastest laps. So I'm really wondering where they got that amount of points from. If you ask me, I think it's mainly because Super Sean and Olawa Richie always drop out of that top 3, but usually get around P4 or P5. And then we've got Kicksauber in P3 with 221 points. They're in a heated battle with Racing Bulls for that 3rd position. And they've got about 10 points of a difference. So that is going to be a very exciting battle as well. And we might want to focus on track here today, because this track is not a very common racing track. I don't think you can compare this track with any other track out there. I mean, sometimes you can think of tracks that look alike or have the same vibes. I don't think there is any track that is as fast as this one. Maybe no, I don't think I can compare this track with anything. Maybe it's a large version of, no, not really. I was gonna say Austria, but Austria is also pretty slow compared to Qatar. So yeah, it's definitely a very long track, a very fast track. A lap takes about 1 minute 20, 1 minute 25. as we might want to go on board with another couple of guys. And I was indeed correct with Tris here being in the Red Bull. My knowledge on Divine Eye Racing League drivers are pretty high. And Gehamid up on his time entering Sector 2, as we might want to have a quick look. Up on his time again entering Sector 3, as that will be by 37 thousandths. Goes wide there, as I think that will be a track invalidation. Comes back on track, didn't gain any time with that, so he's not going to get an invalidation. Expedito also up on his time by 48 thousandths entering Sector 2. So we might want to do a track overlay or a track talk later. When one of the top guys is on a fast one, we might want to do it with Jay Dennis later, as Expedito just got the fastest second sector, improved by about a tenth there in Sector 2. Let's see how much time he can gain here through Sector 3. Oh, playing around with the track limits there, almost invalidated on his time. Here comes the Dutch driver of Divine Eye Racing. Oh, once again plays around with those track limits, a couple of millimeters, and he would have invalidated, but those couple of millimeters actually gave him a good improvement on his time, bumped up from P6 to P5 with a 122.6, not too far behind Jay Dennis. Still has enough time to come back to the pits, put on some new rubber, and go out again. And the Bartofor currently on a night lap. We might want to go on board with the Aston Martin driver while he is still on a slow lap into turn 2, long left-hander. And so you really gotta go without any throttle input through there. I don't think you really gotta brake. Heading into turn 4, fast right-hander, touch the curb on the exit, touch the curb on the inside into turn 5, and then touch the curb again on the exit into turn 6, long left-hander, as this is probably the slowest corner in Qatar. Heading into turn 7, long right-hander, touch the curb on the exit as much as possible, and then heading into turn 8, turn 9, and turn 10. As turn 10, also a very tricky one. Don't think anyone will make a move through there because it's a very tight corner. But you really gotta wait and see, because you never know what to expect here from the Divine Eye Racing guys. Into turn 12, 13, and 14, as they will be probably full throttle, so you really gotta watch out with the track limits through there. Into turn 14, then we've got turn 15, a fast left-hander, and then the last corner, turn 16, which is about a 90 degrees corner, maybe about 100 degrees, as you will have a DRS coming down the straight. And this is where the Bartofor is going to start his fast lap. A 122.8 is his very own time to beat, and he needs to improve by about a second point 4 to be able to grab pole position here tonight. So the Bartofor up into 4th gear, early on the throttle. Watch out for the car there on the inside into turn 2. He's not really breaking through there. Beautiful line from the Bartofor up into turn 3 into turn 4. Fast right-hander. Touch the curb. Yeah, I think he could take a little more curb there coming out of turn 4 into turn 5. Doesn't take a very tight line coming through there. Must have lost a couple of tenths there. Heading into turn 7, long right-hander. Watch out for the curb. Does take it beautifully, as sometimes that curb can be a little tricky to work with, especially when you're coming out that corner very fast. Hakim in the chat says Spain and Jeddah are fast also for me, similar to Qatar. Yeah, actually, if you... Well, here's the problem, right? In Saudi Arabia, you still have a lot of, like, corners where you really have to brake, and I feel like that's not really the case here in Qatar. Like, there's no real corner where you have to brake very hard. Maybe turn 6, which is the slowest corner of the track, but apart from that, it doesn't look like it. The Bartofor coming back into the pits doesn't seem to be on a fast one. Although Richie up on his time by about 86 thousandths. Now coming into sector 3, up on his time by 2.5 tenths. How many more tenths can he put off his time here in sector 3? Takes a lot of curb there, beautifully done by Olawa Richie. Needs to gain about maybe 4 or 5 tenths to be safe. 8 tenths to grab pole. I don't think that's in his lap at the moment. Here comes Olawa Richie, puts himself in P2 with a 4-tenth improvement, only 4 tenths away from Ziad. So that's definitely a very competitive time there from the Ferrari driver. Let's go on board with DJ Lawson, not up in his time, entering sector 3. Maybe Thriz is, no, 7 seconds down. And Gehamid not up in his time either. We might want to go on board with Jay Dennis, who is up on his time, entering sector 2 by about 900ths of a second. And in my opinion, that Alpine car is also a very beautiful looking car. I'm always saying the Mercedes is one of the best looking cars, but that Alpine can also be on the grid, in my opinion. The most horrible car I have seen on the grid is probably Kicksauber. I mean, that livery looks ass. We should get commentary on the GT7 races. I mean, I agree with you there. I think it's definitely a better view for the people who are racing and also for the league in general. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. It's not going to be the case for me because I'm already commentating for another league on Wednesday as Jay Dennis comes across the line to put himself in P4. Well, he's still in P4. Didn't improve in his time. 3/10 down as he lost a lot of time there in Sector 3. Let's go on board with Tris as he's gone for another one. 16 seconds slower. Not sure why that has come up. Maybe he has gone for another one. His tires are definitely not great anymore. Ziad on the out lap, although I don't think anyone will be able to compete with him. Tris not up in his time. Super Sean might be. And yes, indeed he is. Although I think that was his previous lap, if I'm being honest. He needed about 15 thousandths to grab piece. No, never mind. I thought it was in P7. Apparently that's Ange Hamid who just came across the line. Is he going to go for another one? Seems like it. Oh, doesn't have any ERS left. Never mind. He's not going to go for one. As we might want to go on board with Kaka. As I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kaka is a Division 1 driver. Currently out-qualified by both Olaru Richie and Ziad. As there goes Kaka, not on a fast one. Coming into Sector 3. As he's letting through the Alpine driver, which is Jay Dennis. And Jay Dennis also has to come into the pits, I imagine. Kaka trying to warm up his tires. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead, so he's going to go slower. That Kicksauber driver as well there. I think he had to carry a little more speed coming through that last corner. Here comes Kaka with his final lap of the day. Well, qualifying lap is what I should specify. Oh, and the Kicksauber driver is gone! And Kaka has to avoid him. Did he lose time with that? Don't think so. Although I do have to admit, Kaka's reaction time was very bad. Poor there. The air is wide open for Kaka into turn 2. Into turn 1 he goes. I must correct myself. Into turn 2, fast left-hander. And then we get turn 3, very fast right-hander. Full throttle through there. Ziad is also on a lap at the moment. Heading into Sector 3 goes the Egyptian driver. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead. That is the Bartofor. We're currently looking at Kaka, who's got Jay Dennis ahead of him. A very fast driver, currently competing for that P3. But here comes Expedito across the line with a 122.1. Improves by 4/10 on Kaka's time. So Kaka does need to improve by quite a bit to grab that P3. That second line, well, the first position on the second line of the starting grid. Somebody is going very slow. That's a Red Bull. Oh yeah, Ziad improves on his time by about a tenth. As he just put a 121.3. Now let's see what Kaka can do. Heading into Sector 3, not sure if he was up on his time. Here comes the French driver, takes a lot of curb there, heading into the last corner. What time will it be for Kaka? Sliding coming through the last corner. It will be an improvement though, it will be an improvement. It puts himself in P3 with a 6/10 improvement. Look at that time, only 43 thousandths in between Olaru Richie and Kaka. And that is going to be your qualifying here around Qatar. A very interesting qualifying as well, because we've got Ziad, who's about 5/10 ahead of Olaru Richie. A very close battle for P2. And then Expedito with a very surprising P4. He's definitely been practicing these last couple of weeks. The Bartol for P5 with a 122.2. Close behind is Jay Dennis with a 122.4. And Hamid with a good result for Ferrari there in P7 with 122.8. And then we've got Super Sean, Tris, Waza, Mohammed, DJ Lawson, Brass Monkeys, and Redoubts at the back of the grid. But usually we do see those Haas drivers be a little more consistent throughout the race, not getting any penalties, not crashing out. And, well, not getting any penalties, that is another story, as I think if I remember quite well. Oh yeah, and DJ Lawson got that 5 place grid penalty, so he's going to bump back a couple of positions all the way to last place. So let's go through the order again. Ziad in P1, Olaru Richie in P2, and Kaka in P3. Further, we've got Expedito, De Barto for Jay Dennis, Ange Hamid, Super Sean, Tris, Waza, Mohammed, DJ Lawson, Brass Monkeys, and Redoubts at the back of the grid. DJ Lawson is going to bump back to P14 because of an issue with, I think it was Mohammed, if I'm not mistaken. As obviously Redites and Brass Monkeys, as I said before, they're going to come back stronger during the race. They're not really qualifying masterminds, but definitely during the race they can find their pace, good strategy, good consistency, and that is what brings points to the Haas team, as they're currently in P9 and P11 in the Drivers' Championship. So always seeing them at the back of the grid in the qualifying, that is not showing in the Drivers' Championship. So they're definitely doing a good job trying to get back to the middle pack of the race here. Now, we're going to be racing in a couple of seconds. First, the drivers need to enable their setups, their good strategy. Hopefully, they're going to choose a good strategy. I think a soft medium would work here in Qatar, but I would definitely not trust my opinion. And let's hope nobody is going to ready up, because then the owners are once again going to be very mad, because the guys cannot ready up whenever being in the pit lane, because they want to give everyone a chance to pick their setups and all that stuff. So let me double check with the guys here in the chat to see if there is anything happening. Skinner, I don't know if you're watching, but what's your EA? Is that Triss? No, it's not Triss. Who is Skinner on track? I don't know. Yo, Dennis, how are you doing, bud? Apparently, it's already confirmed that Ziad is gonna get promotion next season, so he's gonna bump up from Div 2 to Div 1. If you guys haven't checked out the Div 1 race as well, that was done yesterday by my co-commentator. I think it was Mookie. I'm very bad with names, so sometimes I forget the names. But if you haven't already, make sure to check that stream as well, as Div 1 is a very close battle between a couple of drivers, and a couple of drivers who are actually close to my heart. Well, close to my heart is maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but still. Dutski, you know, you've got Serviliers as well, took part in King of League, so you're also close to my heart. Although that experience wasn't as great as it was it, Serviliers? First, we've got a formation lap to go. Hopefully everyone has got the right setup on their cars and also on the tires, of course. Let us take a look with tire strategies. Oh, what a surprise. Nobody is going on another tire than the medium tires. So we won't be seeing any different strategies here from the guys tonight. I really thought somebody was going to go for the soft tires to then hope for an early safety car, maybe? As we're currently weaving all over the place, trying to get our tires to temperature. Although I don't think that will be the problem here in Qatar. These tires are going to be screaming because they're so hot at the end of the race. No, I'm not racing. I'm just steward in this league since I'm PC driver. Oh, okay. That is very unfortunate, has Akim. Very unfortunate, but... Oh, yeah, Skinner. I know. Don't worry. How did you join the league, mate? Where did you find it? Because I know that Dusky wouldn't invite anyone who is crossplay, so... Just wondering how you found us, or at least, I mean, it's good that you're a steward, right? It is good that you are a steward. We definitely need more stewards, in my opinion. The more the better, or as they say in English, the more the merrier. That is usually about people. Well, stewards are actually also people, except for when they not give me the right penalty, or I mean, if they give me a penalty. No, don't worry. I love stewards, and I love how they think. I'm a steward myself in my very own competition, so I know the struggles of being a steward. A lot of crying babies, and a lot of... Oh, look at that! Oh, Jesus, Olawa Richie! Had a lot of pace there. Jesus! He wants to start this race here in Qatar. DJ Lawson going very, very slow there, trying to warm up his tires. Not sure if it's allowed, because now all the guys who are already on the grid will cool down their tires. Now guys, we are currently in Qatar, Losail to be exact, on the Losail International Circuit, as we're going to be having a round 9 of Season 3 here in Division 2 in Divine Eye Racing. And it is going to be an amazing Grand Prix with 14 people on the grid. We can hear the engines roar. Everyone waiting to go as it's 5 red lights here in Qatar. And away we go. A pretty decent start there from the Kick Sauber driver. Also, Kaka now making an overtake around the outside of Olawa Ritchie. Olawa Ritchie didn't have the start he wanted to. Down the inside it goes as they're going side by side, coming through turn 1. Olawa Ritchie has to yield. Kaka now down the inside. Is Olawa Ritchie going to wait? Seems like it. Expedito trying to go down the inside of Olawa Ritchie as well. The Bartolfo and Jay Dennis now going side by side. Here they come into turn 3, into turn 4. Who will come out ahead? It seems like that will be the Bartolfo. No, they're still going side by side. Jay Dennis now down the inside as he takes that position from the Aston Martin driver. Beautiful overtake as Expedito now trying to go around the outside of Kaka as well. Olawa Ritchie made that position back up. A little bit of sketchy driving there in P6 as Super... Oh, there's a collision between 3 drivers. Super Sean, who got punched off, in my opinion. Waza up into P6. We might want to go with the position changes so far. Waza from P10 all the way to P6 at the moment, as we've got one driver all the way at the back of the grid. Might have had a little collision there. That is going to be Mohamed Mamdo with 3 positions lost. Ziad still in P1 as he started that from pole position as well. Kaka now on the tail of Olawa Ritchie. Here he comes. Backs out of it again, but he will have the DRS next lap. Not this lap yet. We've got a little group of about 5 people trying to get away from the rest of the grid. Waza is currently in P6 with 4 positions gained, but he's got Ange Hamid right behind him. And I think he will be using a little bit of DRS, not close enough. Here comes Olawa Ritchie around the outside. Kaka with the slipstream on the Ferrari driver. Oh, and Olawa Ritchie might have possibly got a track warning there. Coming into turn 1 as everyone's still within the slipstream of each other. Kaka trying to find his way around the Ferrari driver so far. And he's going to patiently wait to make that overtake on the Ferrari driver, because he knows that Olawa Ritchie is definitely not somebody he can leave behind him. So it's better to stay behind Olawa Ritchie for as long as possible, wait for him to make a mistake, and then make that overtake. Oh, and Expedito goes a little bit too deep. Jay Dennis down the inside and they collide. Jay Dennis didn't leave any room for Expedito to get back on track, and that's where they collided. Now, I do think that will be report worthy for Expedito towards Jay Dennis there, as Expedito dropped the position thanks to that. They were still alongside each other coming through turn 6. But then Jay Dennis decided to force him a little bit wider where they collided. And now let's go to the back of the grid as Trace is also on the tail of the Bartolfo there. Trace not having a great start either, dropped the position. And here comes Super Sean. Is he going to go for a move? Doesn't look like it. Around the outside. Backs out of it again. We'll have the DRS right now because the F1 changed their rules, and now everyone can use their DRS in lap 2 already. As Olawa Ritchie has made the overtake on Ziad there into turn 1. Well, not into turn 1, down the straight. And I think there will be definitely moves done here as well. Here comes Super Son down the inside of Ange Hamid. Is he going to make a move on the Kick Sauber driver as well? Doesn't look like it's still side by side into turn 1. As he comes out ahead of the Ferrari driver. Ange Hamid has to back out. Bartolfo also made a move on Trace. Trace tries to go back. Trace tries to go back. Around the outside it goes. Leaves enough space for the Aston Martin driver and makes up a position. As Kaka now on the tail of Ziad this time around. Ziad and Olawa Ritchie switched positions. And here comes Kaka now. 110 behind Ziad. As we can definitely see there is some pace difference here in Divine Eye Racing. Seems like Dito was trying to make a move down the inside, backed out of it. Jay Dennis has left the session. What has happened there with the Dutch, with the English driver? I'm always thinking he's Dutch. I don't know why. Dennis sounds like a Dutch name. That's why. But Jay Dennis dropped out of the session. He will need an invite back into the lobby. Not sure if anyone can give him that. Oh, he's back already. And he didn't really lose too much time with that. Here comes Kaka on the tail of Ziad. And I think Ziad is definitely trying to get back to Olawa Ritchie. But look at how much time Olawa Ritchie has gained in that last sector. 8 tenths on the Egyptian driver. Here comes Kaka down the straight. Olawa Ritchie also with the fastest lap of 125.6. Kaka down the inside. Is he going to make up a position? Does look like it. Beautiful overtake by the Frenchman. As here at the back of the grid, we are also looking at some feisty battles. Super Shaw makes the overtake. Now also Ange Hamid trying to go down the inside. Is he going to make a two-way overtake? Doesn't look like it. Takes P4 from Waza anyway. As the Bartolfo trying to find his way around Trace. As he's in a heated battle with the Red Bull driver for about 3 or 4 laps already. Let's go back on board with the top guys as we've got a little group of 3 people trying to find their way to the victory here in Qatar. There's still plenty of racing to come as there's 25 laps to go. I think Expedito and Jay Dennis. Oh, Jay Dennis, yeah, he's back in the car. Otherwise, it would have been ghosted, but that's good news. He might be able to get back to Expedito. Definitely lost a lot of time with that little disconnection. As Ange Hamid currently on the tail of Super Sean was losing the toe of the two ahead of them. So I think Ange Hamid and Super Sean are definitely draining a little bit of DRS, trying to get away from that little group. It would be better to, I don't know if you guys are watching cycling, but it's always better to, no, actually it's better to be in a group when you're cycling, because then people can switch the fronts, because sometimes, there is a lot of wind and it doesn't matter with racing here. I always think it's better to, well, in Formula 1 terms, it's always better to get ahead with a couple of guys, like with 1 or 2. And here comes Kaka down the inside of Olarichi, takes the lead of the race, although Olarichi not giving up around the outside into turn 2 they go. Olarichi now has the upper hand as he goes down the inside. Beautiful overtake there from I think he's from Nigeria, but I could be wrong. Kaka is going to go for it again. Kaka is going to go for it again. He's not giving up, but Olarichi has the upper hand around the outside, can take that corner full speed, and Kaka has to back out. But as I said, I think it's better when you're ahead with a couple of guys, or like with 1 or 2, than with a whole group, because otherwise you would be battling too much, and now you can switch positions down the straight with the DRS, and then the other guy is going to run away, and then you can take the slipstream, and you know what I mean. I'm just going to I'm just going to read the chat here. My friend recommended me, and he didn't know that I'm on PC, so I watched some streams, and I like the vibe here. Even when I figured out that only for console, I tried to help as I can't race since I like this league. Thank you very much for that, Skinner. Really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure the admins will thank you as well at the end of the season. Now here comes Siad on the tail of Kaka as this little group is even extending their lead. Now let's go on board with Super Sean as he's on the tail of Ange Hamid, trying to get back to Jay Dennis. It's not as easy as it sounds, because Jay Dennis has got a lot of straight line speed. Here he comes, DRS wide open for the Alpine driver, as he's also gaining a lot of time on Expedito. He was about 2 seconds behind entering lap 4, I think it was. Here comes Super Sean also with an overtake on Ange Hamid, and now also the Bartol up into P8 thanks to the DRS. That DRS is definitely very powerful here in Qatar, especially when you're that close during the race. Brass Monkeys and Redoubts didn't really gain a position here. Waza drops back to P13. Did he come into the pits already? Seems like he did. Went onto the hard tires. Might have had some front wing damage. As Ziad is really trying to find his way around Kaka, because here's the thing, I think Olarichi is a very dangerous person to leave alone. He can definitely find the pace, put up 1 good lap, and then drop out of that 1 second of Kaka. And in that case, Kaka and Ziad won't have the DRS of the Nigerian driver anymore, so they got to be patient and careful with letting Olarichi go away. Well, not really patient. They gotta act, and that is exactly what Kaka is doing at the moment. And also Ziad, smart enough to not make a move on Kaka, because he knows that when those two are going to be battling with each other, they're both going to lose a lot of time on the Ferrari driver. So currently trying to take slipstream of each other, switch positions with the DRS, and trying to keep the pace as Olarichi is currently leading the race here. Jay Dennis in P5. He's got that slipstream and that DRS. He's really close up that ass of Dito. Down the straight he goes. DRS wide open. He has a lot of DRS saved. That surprises me, because with how much time he gained in the last couple of laps on Expedito. Here comes Jay Dennis back onto the racing line, and he goes up and over on Expedito. Tris now with an overtake on the Bartol for also Mohammed. Finally made that overtake on DJ Lawson. DJ Lawson already has a penalty. Olarichi and Kaka going side by side into turn 4. It's the same scenario as it was before, so they're not going to be switching positions, as Olarichi has really found his defensive lines here around Qatar. Being able to keep that position in turn 4 and turn 5 is definitely not an easy thing to do, but he manages to find his way around turn 4 and 5 splendidly. I don't know if that is a word. Splendidly, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Ziad trying to find his way around the French driver, and it's 3 different nationalities that you don't very often see in the racing world, especially not in the league world, like an Egyptian, a Frenchman, and a Nigerian currently sharing the top 3. is something you barely see. It's definitely something I haven't seen before, because most of the time it's Dutch people, it's English people, Belgians sometimes as well. You've got a couple of Scottish, Welsh. You don't see very many German drivers either. Neither do you see very many French drivers, Spanish drivers. As Kaka now takes the lead of the race, and at the back of the grid, we're also seeing a very heated battle between Jay Dennis and Expedito. Well, it's not really at the back of the grid. It's like top 4. Never mind. The Bartol now on the tail of Tris. Tries to go around the outside of the Red Bull driver, and now this is the chance for Tris to run away. The Bartol didn't get the chance to make that overtake down the straight, and now he's got to drain everything he's got to try and get away from the Irish driver, as I know the Bartol has got a lot of pace in his car, but sometimes struggled to keep the toe of the driver ahead of him. Now let's go on board with Ziad again, as he's currently in P3. And he dropped 2 positions so far. Kaka made up 2 positions, although Richie's still in the same position as he was before. But what will the strategy be for these guys on track at the moment? Waza has retired from the session in the pit lane, as that is not good news for the Keek Sauber driver. Let's go on board with the Bartol here as he's on the tail. And we also saw a heavy battle between DJ Lawson and Mohammed. Mohammed still keeping the position, but DJ Lawson has got that penalty, so even if he makes the overtake, that P10 is still unsure for the McLaren driver. There's a yellow flag that will be Waza's car coming out on track again. This is not great news for the guys ahead. DJ Lawson with another 3-second time penalty. This will be chaos. This will be chaos. Waza's car is on track. Waza's car is on track. Oh man, look at that. Waza's car. This is not great news. Oh man, this is awful. I don't know why the game does that. I have no idea why the game does that. In my opinion, right, they should ban retiring in the pit lane. They should just allow them to retire on track. Because one, when someone comes into the track, into the pit lane and retires, their car is going to come back out on track, which you saw right now. When somebody retires on track, that car is going to go straight to the side, and usually the guys who retire on track are the guys at the back of the grid. It's not going to cause any safety cars. It's not going to cause any dangerous situations. They just got to put it somewhere close to the side where nobody is. And I think that's a more safer way on how to avoid people crashing into ghosted, I mean, not necessarily ghosted car, but retired cars. Because I've seen this a couple of times in multiple leagues, and it's just crazy how bad this can be for multiple racers, especially in the lead of the race. Kaka almost ended up in the back of the Keek Sauber drivers, so did although Richie and Ziad, because you wouldn't expect anyone to come into the pits and ruin your race like that, but obviously it's out of Waza's control as well. It's just the game who decides to come back on track and ruin the guys' race at the front of the pack. Now it's Kaka leading the race with about a 4-10 gap on Laura Richie, as I think the French driver has got a lot of pace in his car at the moment. Really able to keep Laura Richie and Ziad behind him. A little snap there coming into turn 2. As Mohammed seems to make the overtake on the Bartol. The Bartol coming into the pit so far. Probably going onto the hard tires. Does he have a broken front wing? Seems like it. And yes, indeed he does so. Changes his front wing. And Anke Hamid still on the tail of Super Sean. And this is going to be a very interesting race as well, but also quite a boring one except for the battles in P1, 2, and 3, and P6 and 7. Because Expedito has lost the toe on Jay Dennis, and apart from that, I don't see the guys at the back of the grid battling with each other so much. The Bartol is behind Brass Monkey, so we might be able to see him make that overtake on the Haas driver because he's on fresh tires as well. He's about 1.8 seconds behind, so we're going to focus on that later. 1.6 right now. He's really improving in the time there, the Bartol, I mean, on Brass Monkey's time. Let's go on board with the Irish driver. 1.3 seconds so far. Here he comes in Sector 2. Oh, by the way, guys, can anyone who's still watching let me know whether the quality of the microphone is good? Because last week I had some troubles with my microphone, and I've had that before, but I don't recognize it myself. Like, I don't see it myself or hear it myself. So please let me know. The Bartol now on the tail of Brass Monkeys. He's not going to find his way around the English driver. Down the inside he goes. Oh, and he snaps. He snaps. The tires are still cold. He shouldn't have put that much throttle input on the car. And he almost went into the wall, almost into the gravel is what I should say. And he's going to try to go for it again. Brass Monkey is a little bit more cautious through the corners. Now, around the outside goes Brass Monkey. No, the Bartofor backs out of it again. Oh, yeah, look at that move. Look at that move from the Bartofor. Redoubts with a 3-second time penalty there in P13. As we might want to go back on board with the top 3 as Richie seems to have taken the lead of the race again. We're currently in lap 11 out of the 29, so we're about halfway the overall race session, as we're already 41 minutes commentating on this race. So usually it takes about 1 hour and 10 minutes. Thank you, Zaka. Appreciate it. Brass Monkeys coming into the pits, as his very young teammate will make that overtake on Brass Monkeys. Let's have a quick look with the position changes. Richie gained the position, so did Kaka. Ziad lost the position. Jay Dennis gained 2. And Expedito lost 1 position. So who did Jay Dennis win that position on? It's not the Bartofor. Is it the Bartofor? Oh yeah, it is the Bartofor. He qualified in P5. That is a surprise to me, because he doesn't really have that much pace at the moment. Apart from that, we are seeing Super Sean gaining 2 positions. Ange Hamid still in the same position. Tris gained a position, so did Mohammed. He actually gained 2 positions. Also, DJ Lawson gains 4 positions, but he's coming into the pit, so he might lose 1 again on the Bartofor. And I think that will definitely be the case. A Haas driver out of his car. Who is that car? Is that Redoubts? Is that Redoubts? No, it is Brass Monkeys who's letting all of them through. No, it's not. Wait. Is it Redoubts? No, it's not Redoubts. It's Brass Monkeys who's ghosted. Is he still in the car? I don't know. Probably is. It doesn't matter that much. Laura Ritchie in P1 still. As he's going to get eaten alive from the guys ahead of him. Behind him. Oh, Jesus. And I'm really wondering who's going to come into the pits first. Will it be Olaru Ritchie to try and avoid an undercut? Can you check a lap time of top 3? You mean the fastest lap? I can definitely do that. Here we go. A 125.6 for Olaru Ritchie, a 125.7 for Kaka, and a 125.9 for Ziad. So they're running about the same time. The fastest lap for Jay Dennis is 126.0, and Expedito runs a 126.6. There's only 3 drivers in the 125s today, and those were the top 3. Olaru Ritchie and Ziad both came into the pits. Kaka is going to go for 1 more lap. He's probably going to switch over to the hard tires, or is he going to make a medium soft strategy work? He can. He can definitely make that work. If he comes into the pits around lap 16, 17, I think he can last those soft tires for about 12 laps. But the question is, how much time do you lose staying on those medium tires for a little bit longer, and how much time are you going to gain? Oh, and Ziad with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And that is something you barely see from the Egyptian driver, because he usually doesn't have any penalties, and that is how he wins races. Now Mohammed on the tail of the Egyptian driver, as he has a little snap there coming out of turn 6. Probably went onto the throttle a little bit too soon, as he's already lost about 8 tenths there coming out of that corner on the Mercedes driver. And Ziad also lost the tail of Olaru Ritchie there, so this is not great news for Ziad. He won't have the DRS now. And coming out of turn 10, 11, 12. No, yeah, 11. He even lost some more time, 1.1 seconds behind. And now let's see. Let's see where Kaka is going to end up in. He's currently in the lead of the race, but he's coming into the pits. He's going to switch his tires, going to switch over to the hard tires, I would say. Yes, indeed, he does so. Jay Dennis, Expedito, and Super Sean are all also coming into the pits. Where is Kaka going to end up in? Is he going to be ahead of Olaru Ritchie? Let's see. Coming out of the pits right now. I think he will be ahead. I think he will be ahead. Look at that. He's got the advantage of the tires, and he also has the advantage of the position. This is good news for the French driver, as he stayed out for 1 more lap. Probably had a better in-lap. But he's ahead of the Nigerian driver. Has 1 lap fresher hard tires, which can definitely play its role at the end of the race. Now let's go on board with Super Sean here. He's on the tail of Ange Hamid. Also came into the pits one lap later than Ange Hamid. And I think everyone came into the pits so far. Redoubts is on the 11-lap-old hard tires. He'll have to come into the pits later at the end of the race. Might have had damage because of something at the beginning of the race. Otherwise, he won't come into the pits. Wait, he got lapped already, didn't he? I think that might be it. Did he start on the... No, he didn't start on the hard tires. Everyone started on the medium tires. The Bartol forward with another overtake on Brass Monkeys there, as they're currently battling for that P12 position. As Waza dropped out of the session. He retired in the pit lane. Kaka still in the lead of the race. This time around, Olarichi is way closer down the straight. Coming out of that last corner, DRS wide open for the Ferrari driver. Here he comes. Doesn't have too much ERS saved either. Ziad with the fastest lap of 125.5. Here comes Olarichi down the inside. He goes. Will Ziad go for it? No, he will patiently wait, as that will be an overtake done for Olarichi on Kaka. And we're going to be seeing many back and forward overtakes there between those three drivers. I think Ziad is currently waiting, letting the other drivers battle as much as possible, trying to save the tires as well. But if he wants to save the tires, he shouldn't be that close to the rear of Kaka and Olarichi. Ange Hamid and Super Sean are having a heated battle. Ange Hamid around the outside at the moment. Super Sean is not backing out, but he is going to drop back. I think Super Sean is going to wait for that DRS again down the straight. Around the outside he goes. Is he going to go for it? Doesn't look like it. Backs out of it. 110 behind the Italian driver. Although, Ange Hamid seems to have a little bit of a snap every now and then coming through the corners. Has an awkward line. Here comes Super Sean. Has a very good line. Both drivers having a little bit of a snap there coming out of turn 11. Heading into turn 12. Oh no, never mind. Turn 6 and 7. I was looking at the other Ferrari driver in turn 13 at the moment. Turn 14, turn 15. The Bartolfo with the fastest lap of 124.9. As that will be the fastest lap so far here in the race. Ziad, will he make a move this time around? He still has plenty of time. 14 more laps to go. And both Mohammed and DJ Lawson get a 3-second time penalty for speeding. Well, speeding, not necessarily just track warnings, but that also means you're speeding coming through the corner. Is that not true? Many drivers having a penalty at the moment. 3 seconds for Ziad, 3 seconds for Expedito, 3 seconds for Tris, 3 seconds for Mohammed, and 9 seconds for DJ Lawson. So definitely needs to do something about that consistency. Here comes Super Sean, right outside of Ange Hamid, makes up a position. As it's a very straightforward race, a lot of overtakes down the straight, like we expected during the qualifying. So still, I think it will be a very feisty battle at the end of the race. It will be very close. DJ Lawson trying to find his way around Mohammed. As he tried to make a move around the outside. Has the outside line again, but Mohammed is still ahead of DJ Lawson. So let's go back on board with Olarichi, Kaka, and Ziad, the Three Musketeers. Actually, that is a very good name for those three. The Three Musketeers. Lol. Do they not have a song or something like that? Maybe like Puss in Boots. Doesn't that have... Wait, hold up. Three Musketeers. Oh yeah, there's a song about the three... Wait, I need to listen to that myself first. Oh, never mind. It's a rap song. Oh wait, Hans Zimmer. Who is that? No, that's a boring song. Never mind. There is no Three Musketeer. Where is that actually coming from? The Three Musketeers, right? Ziad is all of a sudden in the lead of the race. That must have happened down the straight. But where is that coming from? Does anybody know? Does anybody have the time to search that up? The Three Musketeers? The Three Musketeers. That sounds so good in my mouth, if I'm being honest. Instead of saying Ziad, Olarichi, and Kaka, I'm just gonna say the Three Musketeers. Fuck it. Oh man. Here comes Ange Hamid. The second Musketeer of the Ferrari team, but definitely not part of the Three Musketeers. He's gonna be the fourth Musketeer, who got kicked out of that little Three Musketeer group. Because Ange Hamid actually had some decent pace last season. because of the consistency on how he was able to keep those tires that good for so long. He was just a master at tire wear. And this time around, it doesn't seem like he can make that work here in F1 24, as obviously we switched games in between the two seasons. So season 2 was still on the F1 23 game. Season 3 was on the F1 24 game. As we're seeing another move here. Ziyad down the inside. Still alongside Kaka. A little bit of wheel bang between the both of them. Who's going to back out? Doesn't seem like anybody is. Kaka is going to go back into the slipstream of Ziyad. As I'm not sure who was in the fault there. Who was in the mistake. How do you say that? In the fault, in the mistake? Who was that wrong? That is what I should say. Sometimes I'm making some little mistakes every now and then. Obviously, because I'm not an English native speaker. So you gotta excuse me. Sometimes I'm translating a little bit too specifically. I don't know. Even that I'm making mistakes for. Brass Monkeys and Redoubts. You can definitely call those two the two musketeers. Do you know these? You guys must have seen Alice in Wonderland, right? You got these siblings. They're eggs. Like the egg. No, it's not eggs. What are they? They're like little Humpty Dumptys. I don't know what they are. But these two are the two Humpty Dumptys from Divine Eye Racing. In that Haas car. I'm not. Humpty Dumpty is. What are their names? Humpty and Dumpty, or is it Humpty Dumpty? I don't know. Is that what the species is called? Here comes Redoubts trying to make him move on his very own teammate. As we might want to go on board with Super Sean here, coming around the last corner. Down the straight he goes. The air is wide open for the Mercedes driver. Super Sean, will he make up a position down the straight? Doesn't look like it. Although, does he have the pace? Does he have the pace? No, he's backing out of it. No, he's going to go for it again. Slipstream from the Mercedes driver. Side by side, they go into turn 1. Who's going to come out ahead? Seems like that will be Super Sean because he's around the outside. Willie, though. Willie has a better exit. Down the inside right now into turn 3. They're still alongside of each other. Who's going to back out? Seems like that will be the Ferrari driver. Super Sean up into P6. Jay Dennis not really gaining any time either. Ziyad going off track there. Might have costed him a couple of tenths on Kaka. But he has to watch out because he's already got 3 seconds of a penalty. Now this is good news for Laura Ritchie because Ziyad is just going to keep the Frenchman behind him. Very, very busy, and Laura Ritchie can now run away. Ziyad isn't going to really win this race with that 3-second time penalty. And this time around, roles have been reversed because usually Ziyad is the one who wins the races because of the penalties or just because he has insane speed around certain tracks, which is the case right now. Here comes Ziyad down the straight up into P1. DJ Lawson with another penalty. 12 seconds in total already for the McLaren driver as Redoubts makes the overtake on Brass Monkeys. Side by side they go. They keep it clean coming through turn 1. As Brass Monkeys retakes P1. Redoubts trying to go around the outside. Backs out of it again. As I'm very unsure whether these two are currently working together with each other or whether they're battling. Here comes Redoubts again down the inside. Oh, almost collided with his teammate. But I think he backed out of it, trying to let Brass Monkeys go through. And they're definitely working together with each other. Feels like a little career mode for the both of them, as they're currently in the middle of nowhere. 22 seconds behind the Bartol for. As Redoubts is weaving all over the place. He's going to let the Alpine driver go through. Ghosted at the moment. As that will be Jay Dennis. Now let's go back to the front of the pack as we're entering lap 21 out of the 29. So about 8 more laps to go. And it's still unsure who's going to win this race because anything can happen, right? If Laura Ritchie is going to get a penalty, Kaka is going to win this race. If both of them get a penalty, it's still unsure who of the 3 musketeers is going to win. If none of the 2 drivers who don't have a penalty yet are going to get a penalty, it's either between Laura Ritchie and Kaka. And then I can say that Ziyad tonight was the least consistent musketeer of the 3. Now into turn 1 they go as nobody is making an overtake with the DRS this time around. You're just patiently waiting to make that overtake. Ziyad is blinking with his lights. Does that mean he's out of ERS? No, he still has got plenty in the tank. That is another glitch that I've noticed here on the F1 game. Drivers would blink every now and then on the rear. And that usually indicates, on F1 23 it was the case, that usually indicates that they are out of battery. You look at Kaka, he's got 100% left in the tank. I think Olauericci is pushing the most at the moment. As Waza just has left the session. That is quite late. Oh, and the Bartolfo is out of the session. Yellow flags for the Irish driver so far. Kaka not really losing the toe of Olauericci, but he's losing a couple of tenths there in Sector 2. Heading into Sector 3 they go, as the Bartolfo is almost going to get lapped by Ziad, Olauericci, and Kaka. He's going really wide to let him go through. That is good, sportsmanlike driving. So props to you, the Bartolfo. I know it must have not been easy to let them through that easy, but you'll get your chance, buddy. You'll get your chance. Here they go, around the last corner. The air is wide open. Kaka with a little awkward line around that last corner, and he's definitely losing a bit of time to Olauericci because he went a little wider there coming out of the last corner. Also, Ange Hamid and Super Sean are going to be having a battle with each other down the straight. Here comes Ange Hamid. As they're not too far behind Kaka and the rest of the guys. About 15 seconds maybe. Here they go down the straight. Anke Hamid is not close enough. Look at that, 5/10. Let's go on board with Kaka again as he's once again charging his battery. And it's really, really interesting to see. You know, Olauericci is not gaining any battery at the moment. He's draining everything. Servaliers in the chat says Olauericci for the win. Come on. I really wish him the best as well. He's a very good, clean driver. He also drove in King of Leagues. He did pretty well. I think he won the race, actually. Never mind. He did amazing. Blowing out the rest of the competition. Blowing away, not blowing out. The fuck am I saying? Kaka once again going deep, and that is usually because of the dirty air. Olauericci gets a 3-second time penalty, and now the win is for grabs for Kaka here. Just doesn't have to get any more track warnings, and he's got 3 seconds spare to use. Man, the Frenchman is going to be happy with that. Redives for the 3-second time penalty. Oh, Hakim. That is very interesting. I didn't know that. Is that new in the new game? Because it used to be when the car was out of ERS, it was blinking. And not when they were saving ERS. That was usually during the safety, during the qualifying that it was blinking. But not during the race. What Hakim said in the chat was, when they put none on ERS deployment, the car blinks so the car behind knows that he is saving. But I don't think you can choose between non-ERS, because you're always draining ERS. Or is that it? No. No. That is during the qualifying, definitely. Because here in the race, you cannot choose none for ERS management. You always, it's either you don't press the button or you do press the button. And when you do press the button, it's going to be draining. But when you don't press the button, I don't know. Can you choose? Wait, I am completely... I might need to do some more research on that, because... You can choose during the race? Non-medium hot lap and overtake during a race? Jesus, I did not know that. I did not know that. It's a new update, isn't it, sir? Valiers. You can choose between non-medium hot lap and overtake. That wasn't in the F1 23 game. Let's be honest here. Right? Am I the only one? It's all about ERS management. Yes, it is, but I feel like it was never the case in F1 23, right? It was just enable, not enable, and that was it. Kaka is using a bit of ERS here, but still draining everything. Alright, so it is indeed new for this game. Okay. I thought I was getting delusional. The Bordeaux for putting another exclamation mark on his pace here tonight. Unfortunately, didn't have the consistency or got crashed out. But he definitely put a 124 here on the grid today. Putting the fastest lap on his name and also that 1 extra point. That man, that's the problem with not racing on this game. You don't know what the new updates are. Like there was another update which I didn't know about either. I gotta think which one it is. Let me double check. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was definitely another rule that, well, a rule, not necessarily, but another thing that has been added into the game, which I didn't know about, and then somebody in the chat told me about it. Now here comes Ziad. Oh, look at that straight line speed from Kaka, draining a lot of ERS. And because he's saving that much ERS, he's got to make an overtake around lap 27, 28, and then just got to fully drain that ERS. Or what he also can do is make an overtake into lap 28, down the straight, heading into 29, make the overtake up into P1, and then drain every ERS he's got. Or he can make an overtake in lap 27 down the straight, heading into lap 28. Then he's got one lap spare as De Bartolfo retires. Oh, retires coming into the pit lane, and it will be one last safety car. This is not great. Will the guys come into the pits? Oh, that will be spicy, won't it? I don't think they'll come into the pits. I don't think it's worth it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, Kaka is indeed doing everything to not get a penalty. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about the penalty situation there. He actually doesn't need to do anything. So, what will the drivers be doing? Because this is not great news for Richie and Ziad. Because now Jay Dennis and Expedito are going to be coming closer, and they're probably not going to lose that much time. I mean, gain that much time on Jay Dennis and Expedito in about 2 laps. So those 3 seconds are even more of a punishment that we thought they were. I mean, we thought they were just going to get P2 and P3. Although Richie, that will definitely be a penalty. I can tell you that for sure. Jesus, he just cut the whole... he just cut everything there. Oh, Olawa Richie, that is not nice. I mean, I don't care. But it's definitely not allowed. Olawa Richie, you're dirty. Dirty, dirty man. Tris coming into the pits, gets a drive-through penalty. And that is going to ruin everything for him. They have to pit for softs, apparently. I don't think they had to. Actually, maybe. Actually, yeah, sure. Everyone came into the pits anyway. Ange Hamid as well. Let's focus on the tires. Super Sean is the only one who didn't come in yet. He's going to be right behind Jay Dennis, so he made up 1 position. And it will be 3 battles of, 3 laps of full excitement for these guys at the front of the pack. Will they make up enough time on Jay Dennis? I think Expedito will, if they want to try and get a gap for their pens. That's true, but I think Olawa Richie is definitely going to penalty anyway for crossing the pit lane entry, so he shouldn't be gaining too much time. I mean, I think he should push to not drop out of that top 7 maybe. Top 8 maybe. Top 9 maybe. Although no, Lawson has a penalty anyway, so you shouldn't be worried about that. The Alpine driver going really slow there. Not sure what's happening, as I think somebody made the overtake. And then they had to give that position back or something. You cannot make an overtake during the safety cars. That is quite self-explanatory. I don't think the safety car will come in this lap yet. As usually that happens. Well, the message pops up when entering Sector 3. It didn't happen this time around, so we're going to do 1 more lap. Fun fact, this time around it's going to be a Mercedes safety car. Every now and then we are seeing a Aston Martin. And we should be given the safety car a penalty there for ignoring the track limits, because he went off track there. Big penalties. Maximum penalties is what Alonso should say. Another penalty! Another penalty for you, dirty Mercedes. And this is not what I think you should do. Maximum penalties. Oh, it's so funny how he says that. Oh, and the Haas driver is letting everyone go through. Goes back onto the racing line. That is... I don't know. What are you doing, Brass? Is that a new way of letting people go through? Possibly is. He's about 1.2 minutes behind. Before we're going to go again, I'm going to take a quick sip of water because it will be a very exciting last lap as we're battling for a P2 position here between Jay Dennis, Ziad, Olawa Richie, Super Sean. I think Expedito will be a bit too far behind, but those 13 lap old hearts of Super Sean will definitely not do the job trying to stay right behind Jay Dennis and Olawa Richie or even keep up Expedito. Now, Ange Hamid can get P6 here. Depends on whether Olawa Richie is going to get another penalty for crossing the pit lane entry. But everyone is right behind the safety car. We're going to be having 2 exciting laps of racing here around Qatar. And those will be my last 2 laps here in Divine Eye Racing Season 3. Depends on whether I'm going to be there for the last race. I'm just going to double check when that one is. But I had a feeling that I wasn't going to be commentating that one, but might be though. So the last race is on the 17th of September. Oh yeah, I'll probably be there. Depends on whether I get back from the United States safely, because there's a lot of tornadoes and all that kind of stuff on the place. Well, around the place where I'm going. So we got to see whether our plane departures, don't we? Safety car is in this lap. We're going to be racing. And as the guy from Cars would say, boogity, boogity, boogity. But that will be for later this lap. The safety car just has to go vroom, vroom back into the pit lane. And Kaka will start this safety car restart. We're heading into lap 28 out of the 29. And who will come in P2 and P3? Maybe Jay Dennis can make that overtake on both Olawa Richie and Ziad to compete with Kaka. And Kaka is going to go already. Look at Ziad, how far he is at the moment. 1.1 seconds. This is not good news for the Egyptian driver. And he spins out. He spins out. Ziad loses the car. And he is off the track. Drops back to P6. Look at that gap from Kaka. And oh, look at that. Oh, what is happening? Why is everyone slowing down? What is this? Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. They all had to let Ziad go through again because he crashed out. That is fucked up by the game. Oh no, this is bullshit. Oh, Jay Dennis down inside of Mohamed there. Yeah, now we can tell you for sure that Kaka is going to win this race. Oh, Richie. Oh, pushing Jay Dennis a little bit wider there. Down the inside of Super Sean he goes. Has to watch out though. Expedito now up into P3. And this is not great. DJ Lawson in a heavy battle with Tris. As Ange Hamid also drops back to P9 because of that little, catastrophic situation there. Oh man, that is so bullshit from the game. I wish they had never done that. That is bullshit. Should have kept going and got penalty removed. Oh right, that is actually true. That is actually true. Yeah, I agree with that. Now Ange Hamid in P9. Is he going to get a P... Well, a P6 can be done. Just got to make an overtake on Super Sean. He's too far behind. Let's have a look with Expedito and Ziad. Kaka now with a 124.6. Puts another exclamation mark on the fastest lap. As the Bartofor had it before, but he crashed out in the pit lane. Well, coming into the pit lane. Here comes Ange Hamid down the straight. Makes an overtake. 3 wide into turn 1. As he's around side the Red Bull driver at the moment. And up into P7 he goes. Has about 1 more lap to make that overtake on Super Sean. I do think it will be enough because he's on those fresh soft tires. Super Sean on those very old hard tires. Gained about a 10th or 2 in turn 1, 2 and 3. As the Bartofor just has left the session. DJ Lawson on the tail of Tris. Let us once again have a look with the penalties. From the top 4, 3 drivers have penalties, as Kaka will be leading the race without any penalties. So he is going to get that win for sure. Even if he crashes out, I don't think he should be worried. We have it now on the tail of Super Sean. This will be a heavy battle for P6 so far. Chris with that drive-through penalty as well. Here comes the Ferrari driver. Little switchback from Ange Hamid. He's alongside the Mercedes driver. Shouldn't get pushed off. Around the outside he goes. Maybe a switchback. Will he make that work? Doesn't look like it. It doesn't go full throttle. Oh, and he's going to let the Mercedes driver go past. Look at that. Ange Hamid didn't have what it needed. Oh, Tris now right the outside. Look at that. Beautiful overtake by the Red Bull driver. He will take P7. Goes back onto the racing line. As beautiful overtake there by Tris. I didn't expect that to happen. And here they come across the line. 20 seconds for a drive-through penalty. He will drop back all the way to the back of the grid. So let's go on to Kaka as he won this race by 7 seconds. As obviously that was 4 seconds plus 3 seconds of time penalties. And this will be the end of the Qatar Grand Prix here in Divine Eye Racing. A little bit of a catastrophic situation there at the end of the safety car. Ziad, who crashed out. I mean, slid all over the place. Driver of the day is apparently Ziad. No idea where the game got that from. Maybe because he gained that many positions again after that safety car situation. But that was definitely not great. So here we go. Kaka taking the lead of the race and also winning that race at the end of the race. Went from P3 to P1 with the fastest lap on top of it, the 123.2. And then we've got Ziad in P2 and Jay Dennis in P3 because he didn't get any penalties. And the rest of the grid looks like this. Dito in P4, Laura Ritchie in P5, and then we've got Super Sean, Ange Hamid, DJ Lawson, Tris, Mohammed, Brass Monkeys, and Redouts who have finished the race. Then we've got 2 DNFs for tonight, the Bartofor and Waza. Tris didn't really lose that many positions because he drops back to P9. And that will be the race here in Qatar. Thank you very much, Sir Valiers. Appreciate that. I will send a picture in the Divine Eye Racing whenever I arrive. Hopefully it's looking nice in New Orleans. I'm pretty sure it will be. If you never hear from me again, I probably got murdered by a New Orleanian guy because they wanted to steal my phone, and I'm not going to give anyone my phone for free. So guys, thank you very much for listening and watching the live stream, of course. I wish you guys a good luck during the rest of the season. I will be there for the last race here in Divine Eye Racing. And thank you very much once again. My name is Sweepy Thomas as your commentator, and I will see you in 3 weeks. Bye-bye. Peace out.